And we are back. Episode 29 of Drop the Green. So as always, we'll dedicate that to somebody. Y'all can probably take a guess if you just look over at Spencer real quick. But this week's overview is going to be on overtime. So an overtime overview. Tongue twister. All right. And then we'll get into a Watkins Glen recap. We'll talk about who stood out, do Drop the Green bets, do some Bristol night race predictions, and then we will close with our third edition of the Choose Who Zone. As always, my name's Austin.
My name's Spencer.
Let's drop the green.
Long time gone since the truth's been told, and I've seen my own. Hey, cut us low. Come on, save my soul with a bar guitar and a honky tonk crowd.
All right, right back into it. A little bit of a rough start there with Spencer just completely not laughing at my joke.
Yeah, dude, it wasn't funny.
Just a little bit rusty. Take a week off.
Yeah, we do. We're glad to have you back.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So hopefully we won't take too many more off. We'll see. Kind of getting to the slower part of the year for me.
Good.
So hopefully y'all won't have to listen to Colby just spread misinformation.
Did he spread more misinformation?
Yes, it was a lot.
It was.
I
mean, that's what he does. That's why we love him.
That's what you get.
That is what you get.
When you call in the second string.
I wouldn't even call him that. I'd call him the last resort.
The last resort. That's
Yeah.
how we like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's jump into this. It's I'm going to say something funny by the end of it. I just know it.
Okay.
So episode 29, we're going to both pick the same person.
Yeah.
It was funny. Me and Spencer were talking before the episode today, and obviously he had his 29, and I was like, man, maybe I'll pick someone else. And I found this article. It was like all drivers in the 29. It was like black and white picture, black and white picture, black and white. Kevin Harvick. And I was like, I honestly don't know any of these other people.
Yeah.
I saw Kelly Yarbrough had a 29 car at one point, which I did not remember. And I just
wonder what the sponsor was on that.
It was Hardee's, but I thought that was a 28 car.
Yeah, I thought that was a 28. I literally just had a picture of it.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's
Okay.
like some of those older guys, I couldn't even tell you what number they drove. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But
you knew that sponsor like that.
Yeah, and you know that driver.
Yes.
But I feel like numbers make a lot of it's more recognition in the number now.
100%.
If that makes sense.
What's the placement of the number now?
We ain't got enough time for that.
Okay.
But I'll let you get right into it. I know this is your guy, but
Yeah.
episode 29.
This is my boy. In case you don't know, number 29, the only 29 even worth speaking about, is Mr. Kevin Harvick himself from Bakersfield, California. I know I did him for 4, so I won't go into crazy too much early life, but just to hit on again, he started in go-karts, and he got a go-kart for kindergarten graduation. His parents got him one.
Okay.
Yeah. He went on in go-karts to win 7 national championships and 2 grand national championships.
Oh my God.
Yes. Just a legend. So from there, he grew up an IndyCar fan, being from Bakersfield. He wrestled in high school. Did you know that?
I did know that.
He was a big wrestler.
Yeah.
He kind of went to...
Just love touching dudes.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? He also played baseball, basketball, football, and soccer. So just an all-around athlete.
You wonder if like he was any good at them, or did he just go to a school like we did where
I would assume in California.
But it's Bakersfield.
Yeah, but they had all these sports at his high school.
Okay.
Did you have wrestling?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, we didn't either. yeah. No, we didn't have wrestling.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I would assume it was...
He had to have been halfway decent.
Exactly.
Yeah. There were tryouts.
Yeah,
Okay.
there were. Yeah, it wasn't like me where I just showed up
Right now,
and they let me sit the bench.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So moving on, we're gonna skip straight to 2001 to 2013 when he ran this car for RCR, Richard Childers. And if you don't know the story, I'll tell you real quick. They had hired Kevin as kind of a development driver to race like 7 races. I think I read that in 2001 and 2002, something like that, to see what they could get from him in the future. Well, as you know, Dale died, and they had to do something with that car. So next week, he ran it, the 29, branded as this car. Oh, and I'm so sorry I didn't throw up the picture, too. But I have it on the table. Same car. Excuse me. The 29 Goodwrench service car. Just a beautiful, beautiful paint scheme.
And kind of the story that I remember Richard Childress telling was, so obviously all this happened so quick.
Yes.
And they knew they were going to go. There wasn't a question that they were going to go race.
Yeah.
Now, they knew that's what Dale wanted. And so he asked NASCAR for the lowest number possible that wasn't being used, and that happened to be 29.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only reason they got 29.
Yep.
And then he basically, I wouldn't say inverted, but more or less kind of inverted Dale's paint scheme.
Yeah.
So it's the same, like Dale was black, silver, red, and so they made him white, black, and red.
Yes. They just changed the color scheme.
Yeah, just changed the color scheme.
Literally changed his color scheme. So that 29 was debuted at Rockingham the next week, where Kevin performed decent. But the big one was 3 weeks later, after he died, he went to Atlanta, won Atlanta, and did what's the lap called?
Polish victory lap.
Polish victory lap, and held up the number 3. To me, that just embodies who he was at that age, to know what Dale meant to that team, what Dale meant to the fan base, for him to win it like that and to show homage to him right after that.
Yeah. And
incredible.
And such an amazing finish, too.
Yes. Jeff almost got him.
Oh, my God. It was absolutely insane.
If Jeff would have had another 100 feet, he would have got him.
He would have got him.
Yeah. I mean, it was that close. Does that, but then, so that's the big story about the 29. Well, then, like I said, he raced in that car from 2001 to 2013. And the next big thing I wanted to get into was his stats in that car. So, excuse me again. Sorry, that whiskey. 23 wins in that 12-year span, I guess it would be. His best finish was third in the Cup Series, the Winston Cup Series, I guess. But it would have
been sprint.
In the sprint. Yep. So best finish was third. He couldn't get a championship done. So I wanted to know the breakdown of RCR's wins, which we've kind of talked about before. Dale's won 67 of their 117 wins. Yeah, 117 wins total. So if you take his out, which is 57% of the wins, okay. Want to put that out there that I'm not trying to disparage what Dale did for that team.
Right.
But what I am trying to shine a light on is that the 23 wins, if you take Dale's out, was 46% of the wins. So like the next closest guy, I looked at the list, but I don't remember. I think it was like 8, 5. It was single digits.
Yeah.
A lot of one.
Right. Some Austin Dillons, some Ryan Newmans.
And of course, Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch. They got some single digit wins, but that just goes to show you those two guys alone put RCR on their back.
Yeah.
And got it done. That car ran, while Kevin was in it, 466 races, 209 top 10s.
Oh my God.
Crazy. He finished top 5 in the series 6 times in that 12-year span. So half the time he was right there, almost winning it, and they couldn't get it done. But
Jimmy Johnson era too.
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? I mean, RCR, we see where they've been now.
And I think, just my opinion here, I think RCR's kind of been on that downward trajectory a long time. I think Kevin masked a lot of it, much like I think Kevin masked how bad SHR was getting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like you don't know until someone like that leaves.
Yes.
And I mean, RCR has not been much of anything. I mean, they had Tyler Reddick, who was great.
3 wins, though.
Fumbled that guy.
Yep.
Let him leave.
Mm-hmm.
They're about to fumble Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
And I
They
mean,
really are.
if something were to come up or happen, and we don't know, there's still a lot of unknowns in this silly season, but I mean, I think RCR doesn't know how bad it is.
No,
they really don't.
They have no clue.
And part of that is all the years they have with Kevin, like you said, putting that organization on his back and carrying it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one other thing I wanted to say, I know you love nicknames. Do you know what Kevin's nickname is?
Yeah, the closer.
The closer.
Yeah, I know the
so
closer.
A lot of that came from the 29. So he had some closer races in the 4 too, but it was just this weird period of time where it seemed like, not that Kevin wasn't there all day or anything. He might have been 3rd or 4th, but he had a handful of races where just like last lap or last handful of laps, boom, he just got the win.
Let's go.
So they just started calling him the closer,
Yeah.
which is such a cool nickname.
It really is.
I mean,
we got to bring that era back.
I know,
we
I know.
keep talking about it,
I know.
and we need to take one of the off-season shows and just give everybody a dope nickname.
Yes, I agree.
Okay.
But another thing I'll say about his time at the 29, so it got pretty tumultuous at the end because the cars weren't great. I mean, kind of like they are now.
Yeah.
And there's really, really good like YouTube videos of this, but just like random races where Kevin's in the car like this. It sucks. Like, this is ridiculous. We look like a bunch of clowns out here. And Richard gets on the radio. He's like, just drive the car. I pay you to drive the car. And he's like, oh, whatever you say, Richard. Whatever you say. I mean, the dude's going 180 miles an hour, just like back talking Richard Childress. So that just tells you how bad it was. He ended up signing to go to SHR and announced that over a year before he left.
Yeah, that was the thing I didn't realize. He won the championship in 2014.
His first year.
There after leaving
Talk about
RCR.
a giant middle finger to RCR.
Where he finished 3rd in 2013. Yeah. Build me a car, Richard.
Yeah,
Build
exactly.
me a car, I'm going to win championships.
Exactly.
So
I mean, he's always been that driver, but I mean, all of them will tell you you can't go fast in a slow car.
No, you can't.
You can try your damnedest, but I mean, he never had the speed to do it. It makes you wonder, like, if he could have got to SHR even sooner.
Yeah, what it would have been.
What it would have been.
Yeah, but episode 29. Shout out to Kevin. Hey, keep that Fox booth as. Never mind. I
was going to ask you, are you going to find a way to somehow make another episode Kevin Harvick?
Oh,
we're on our second one.
40, maybe.
I mean, 62.
Yeah, 62
late model.
Yeah, the late model car.
So you're just gonna start like digging. Like
I might do Keelan's number. I don't know what
it's gonna be like episode 93. You're like, well, actually, Kevin Harvick's go kart. We're just gonna keep doing Kevin Harvick, but no, he's worth it. I think that's a good one to have 2 episodes on. Anything else on Kevin before we move on here?
No, I'm good. Let's get to some overtimes.
So yeah, I thought this would be a good overview this week. I heard a really interesting stat. You want to guess, and maybe you've already heard the stat, but you want to guess how many races we've had, cup races we've had this year that have went into overtime? Keep in mind we've had 28 races.
28 races. I would say 17.
That's a stupid high number.
Okay.
By the way, it's 12.
Oh,
which is also stupid.
Okay,
high. 17's ridiculous.
I figured since we're talking about it, it was stupid high.
If it was 17, I think I would have gave this podcast up. Yeah, because I'm pretty damn close on 12, just to be honest. But we'll get into a little bit. That's obviously the highest we've ever had.
Yep.
Since we've had overtimes. It's one of those NASCAR things where it just keeps building. But a little bit of history on overtime. So I didn't know this, but in 1995 when the Truck Series started, they had green-white checkers.
Really?
Like straight out of the gate. It was just like what made them a little bit different. Now, granted, they were on short tracks too, but they would allow one overtime finish. So that's evidently always been a thing in trucks. I don't remember that, but I'm going to take their word for it because I read that online. But so up until 1948 to 2004, whatever the advertised distance was, that's what you ran.
Yeah.
So if there was a caution on lap with 4 to go, a bad one, right? They're just going to clean that caution up, and you're going to see the last 4 laps under caution.
Yes.
And they're going to wave the yellow flag and the checker flag at the same time. And like, I grew up and have seen races in that way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember it really bothering me, just because you didn't know any different.
Now, I may get ahead of you, but of course you really remember the era before stage breaks too.
Yes.
So now, were stage breaks introduced as well as overtime? Green checkers?
No.
Okay.
So yeah, overtime.
So they would still end the race under caution, even with stage breaks involved.
Oh, I see what you're asking. No, okay. So stages came in 2017.
Okay.
So our first overtime came in 2004. So we were.
So it was way before.
Way before. Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
Stages are pretty new.
Okay, my bad.
Very new. So 2004, they go to green white checkers, right? They weren't calling it overtime at this point. It was just green white checkered. One attempt only. So that was kind of your chance. You know, maybe we have a caution with 2 to go, but we want the whole point of this, right, is for fans to see a race end under green.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, we'll give you 1 attempt. So from 2004 to 2009, that was good enough.
Yeah.
And there was races like this where a caution, when we go into green white checkered, that first lap caution. That's it. Sorry about it. It's over. You had 1 chance, guys. You screwed it up.
Okay.
I was more than fine with that. Well, that wasn't enough. So 2010 to 2015, they say, you know what? 1's not enough. We're going to give you all 3 attempts. So we're going to max it at 3. So if we get to our 3rd green white checkered,
that's it.
That's it. Right? More than reasonable. That's not enough, Spencer. That's not enough.
I want to know what races took place from 2009 to, would you say 2015?
Yeah, so 2010 to 2015 is when we
2010
had
to
3 attempts.
Okay, yeah. I want to know what races took place where they couldn't figure it out with 3.
So one of them, and if you look back on it, and this was a Talladega race in 2014. It was either 14 or 15. So
I was about to say it had to be a super speedway.
So they were on their 3rd attempt, right? And Kevin Harvick does not have, I think it's like he didn't have 3rd or 4th gear. And he's lined up like 6th. You know, he just got through a wreck.
Yeah.
You know,
he's just trying to finish.
He's just trying to finish. He's on his 3rd, they're on the 3rd attempt. They know next flag ends it.
Uh-huh.
You're going to hate this story. I know you're going to hate this story. So they throw the green flag. Once again, Kevin Harvick does not have, I want to say it was 3rd or 4th.
Uh-huh.
Like let's just pretend all he has is 1st and 2nd. It was something crazy like that.
Yeah.
So green flag, 1st, 2nd, he just hangs a left, gets in the middle of everybody, causes a giant wreck. Because he knows the race is over.
Yeah.
And then he'll get 10th place, you know, which is way better than...
I still I thought you had to come around to
No,
get
because it was the last one.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So the field's frozen. Yeah.
That's just a genius.
It's pretty. I mean, what else do you do?
Exactly.
You get put.
You're missing a gear.
Yeah, and I can't remember what year that was, and I could be completely off on this, but I feel like that's right. For the sake of argument,
yeah. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Okay.
I think it was 15.
Okay.
I think it was 15. It was definitely 15. So anyway, right, wrong, or indifferent. 2016 to 2017, unlimited overtimes.
Wow.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
It's already a circus. Let's just add a few more elephants to the ring. But they also have what's called an overtime line. So they have this arbitrary line where even after a white flag, if the caution comes, if you didn't go past the overtime line, you can still do another green, white, checkered.
Okay, that's stupid.
And you can only imagine how much controversy this... Like, you know how it is, NASCAR, they're like, we're going to have this one little rule.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, well, what if XYZ happens? They're like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Well, it happened.
Yeah, of course
multiple
it did.
times. So they end of 2017, they end up getting rid of that overtime line, which was great.
Yes.
But there's still unlimited overtimes. Mm-hmm. So now, basically what we have, any race if we get down to a point, and you see this even with like 6 to go, right? 6 to go, they're like, we'll just do some extra cleanup. Run 6 laps off.
That's always been my biggest beef,
green, white, checker.
Really. Yeah.
So a lot of this came, and I'm skipping a little bit of history here, but this is one of those things that came from the All-Star race. Mm-hmm. So way back in the All-Star race, the last segment, I think, was like 10 laps, and caution laps didn't count at all.
Yep.
Kind of like dirt racing.
Huh.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of stole this idea from the All-Star race like they do a lot of their ideas. And then they even, in 2022, they tinkered with a little bit, because as we know now, green flag flies, next flag's a white flag, and then the next flag
ends it,
right?
Black flag, red flag,
whatever.
Any flag
ends it.
Yep.
So they had this brilliant idea. In 2022 at the All-Star race, the race had to end green, checkered flag.
Yes.
So even if you got the white flag and the caution flew, we're re-racking them.
Yeah.
So Ryan Blaney comes down, gets the white flag, of all people, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Rex.
Yep.
They throw the caution, right? And everyone's like, oh, even the commentators who should have known.
Yes.
Because here's the rule sheets. They're staring at it. They think the race is over. Ryan Blaney thinks the race is over. Undoes his window net.
Yep. I remember it.
He can't put it back up. And honestly, thank God that happened, because I think that's one of those rules we would have seen come into
this,
regular races.
Oh.
So thank God that got screwed up. But so that's a little bit of my history on overtime. That's why we're here. First and foremost, they want races to end green. They don't want all these people to watch on TV or come and see the whole. You sit there for 4 hours, you see it enter a caution.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care about that, but I can see why that's important. Do you think overtime has outlived its purpose? Coming off, we're almost 50% of our races this year have finished under green, white, checker.
Almost, yeah. I don't think it's outlived its purpose in every other sport. Again, I know I'm a big one to compare to other sports. I think that we have to not just hold ourselves to a higher standard as a sport of NASCAR, but try to emulate some of these just giants in the sports world, NBA, MLB, and the NFL. You have to show those. All those people have overtime. They do. The extra things.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't decide something in the allotted amount of time, you go to extra time. I completely understand having an overtime. So I don't think it's outlived its purpose, to answer your question. But in saying that, and I don't want to skip ahead from any questions, but you have to realize that, like, even in college football, once you hit so many overtimes, you have to do something extra. You have to do more to continue the game going. And I know it's not a great comparison. If Colby was here, he'd already be yelling at me. You can't compare everything.
Right.
Whatever. When there almost needs to be a limit sometimes on stuff. There really does, because personally, I was at the Nashville race where probably the worst one that we've had. Yeah. Where it was just overtime after overtime after overtime. It was insane. So, again, I'm with you. I see both sides. Of course, I never want to see a race end under caution. Mm-hmm. I don't want to see a race end halfway through when they get halfway and they can call it. Yeah. I think that's boring too. So, but yeah, maybe we need to look and revisit some of these rules that we have in place to limit some of these crazy circus races that we have.
Yeah, because it gets out of control.
When you have Joey winning under green, and you're like, how is he having enough fuel? Probably because we had 50 caution laps, and he just cruises around. So that kind of bleeds into my next question for you. I wouldn't say I'm completely like a purist, but
You're
pretty close.
I'm pretty close.
Yeah.
Do you think it hurts the integrity of racing? And let me just kind of frame that up for you as saying, how many times have we seen somebody, and even Austin Dillon, right? I mean, he didn't let's take out what he did at the end of Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's not in this argument at all. But, he had that race dominated.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Right?
They found it. Good for them.
And then we have a green, white checkered, and it's like he would have, if he didn't drive like an idiot, he lost that race because he doesn't know how to restart.
Yes.
But he dominated the end of that race.
Mm-hmm.
So are we hurting the integrity, or is that just how it goes?
No, and honestly, the where I would have took that question, I think you're hurting the integrity, especially after 2 or 3.
Yes.
I mean, one, I'll give it to you. It does suck, and I was thinking about this before the show, of like, it is a team sport. We know that pit guys, everybody behind the wall, they mean something, especially in those times, like when you're deciding to pit, because we've seen it a million times where they've run this long green flag stop, and then you get to overtime and you're like, should we come? Should we stay out? I mean, there's all these working factors that we have, and it's tough to say, because when you go to football or anything else, that a dude on the sidelines can rush the field and get a flag for your team, okay? And it hurts you in that situation in overtime, but in the grand scheme of things, you may still have a chance. In this case, you really wouldn't. You'd be screwed.
You'd be done.
You'd be done. So I guess where I'm trying to go with that is he dominated, but he still had a chance to do what he had done all night, and he couldn't do it.
Right. But so to kind of, I think that's a very valid point.
Okay.
But to kind of play off that, so to compare it to another sport, like let's say we go into overtime this weekend, Tennessee, Oklahoma. Mm-hmm. Not going to happen because we're going to be winning by about 35. But let's say we go into overtime and Tennessee wins in overtime. Mm-hmm. You feel better about that, to me at least. Like if you put it in the scale of this, both those teams were on equal opportunity to win that game going into overtime.
Yes.
They both scored the same amount of points, regardless of how they got there. Mm-hmm. But those were equal footing teams. Mm-hmm. When we get to a green, white checkered and somebody's leading by 4 or 5 seconds, then we equalize it. And now that guy in second, third, fourth, even fifth, depending on, they could have came and got tires. Like Kyle Busch almost won Darlington on a late race, restart. Got tires, yeah. You know what I'm saying? To me, that just kind of is like, well, you don't deserve that because you weren't sitting at the same level as that guy dominating before.
No, I see exactly.
If that makes sense.
No, it makes 100%, because I remember you showing me the video of the drivers talking about stage breaks and how they just hated it.
Yeah.
Like that, literally the biggest names in our sport. So right now, Denny, one of them, hated the idea of stage breaks, because why would you go out and get an 8-second lead when in 60 laps
it's gone?
It's done.
Yeah,
you've done all this work to get ahead, and now it's
what's it matter?
Yeah.
And I remember Carl Edwards in that video I showed you. He was like, that would be like resetting the score of a basketball game after every quarter.
Yep.
Like, what does it matter? Mm-hmm. So that's a good point, because I think this kind of bleeds into it.
It's the same. It literally is the same.
Okay, so last question, and then I'm going to ask for a solution.
Okay.
Do you have a solution ready?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I got something.
We got to fix it today.
Yeah.
So last question before our solution. Do you think our green, white checker issues, because obviously the problem we have with is chaos, right?
Yes.
We have, I think the most we've had is 8 overtimes. Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm being crazy on that one. It's been several years ago.
8?
I swear I saw that somewhere.
Oh.
Once again, we're just going to say that's true.
Okay. 8 seems like a lot. I think we got to like 6 in Nashville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Insane.
Which is a lot.
So we can obviously blame that on the format of green, white checkers all day. But at the end of the day, you ask me, why are the best drivers in the world not able to make 2 laps?
Yeah.
You think that's part of it?
Yeah, 100%. They're doing, because like you said, they're playing to the format. We've seen it time and time again when NASCAR sets these cut lines, when they set these things, drivers do everything possible to move their team forward and to win.
Even if they got to game the system.
Exactly. And so if they have to game the system in any way possible, they will. Now, again, on the other side of that, I think yes, a lot of it's on the drivers, but I think it's less than 50%. I think the other half is NASCAR himself in the way they officiate. And we will be the podcast that talks about how bad NASCAR officiating is. I will die on that hill because they're horrible.
Because the green, white checker
that's what they want.
Completely different.
Yes, that's what they want. They will throw it for anything if they can re-rack them. They just want to keep re-racking them. They don't ever want to race to end.
No.
Literally. If they have a reason to throw it, they will. So I put a lot of blame on the drivers. I put a lot of blame on NASCAR for letting it get that far. And my point to that is we have seen where, be it Bristol, be it Watkins, Glen, be it any of these tracks, we have seen where there's 5 left and literally a dude got in the grass.
Scrapes the wall.
Barely. And they can't clean it up in 4 laps. Take 2, end it in 2.
Yeah.
We've seen that countless times, and I know I don't have the races on hand to prove it, but it's happened.
No,
I know it's happened.
Yeah, we know it's happened.
I can pull up our text messages and be like, why are we running at Charlotte 9 laps under caution when Austin Dillon went in the grass?
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It makes no sense.
Pit road's still closed.
Yes.
Doesn't make any sense.
We're just going around in circles to get to a green, white checkered. So
now, let me ask you this. If we don't have unlimited green, white checkers, let's say we go back to, just one.
Yeah.
Is the guy in 10th place driving like an absolute asshat?
No.
Because I feel like now, and maybe this is me being cynical, I feel like now the guy in 10th place, like a Joey or a Carson or even a Ross, in their mind, they know it's unlimited. Right, wrong, or indifferent, they know that these are the rules, like you said. Mm-hmm. So if 10th place goes in there and cleans out 8th, or makes a dive bomb move and there's a caution, now I'm 6th.
Yep.
Let's do it again.
100%.
We'll do it again.
Yep.
Now I'm 3rd.
Yep.
Let's do it again.
Yes.
I feel like that. I legitimately feel like that's how a lot of them think.
That's exactly what happened in Nashville. Everybody did that same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even go as far as 10th, but you get back into the pack in 22nd. 22nd to 15th, that's a big difference for some of those guys.
It is.
When they can see the writing on the wall, like, hey, I've had a good day. I've been there. Here's my chance to get there. Let me do something.
Yeah. It's wild to me. I think that it's funny how all these overviews kind of bleed into the other ones, because I think all that also goes back to the format.
Yes.
Absolutely 100% goes back to the format. Mm-hmm. All right. I want you to fix overtime right now.
I think our solution is 3. I do. I think that idea is perfect. Everyone knows when the race will end. How you we've always had a number on how many laps we're going to run forever until now. They could literally go unlimited. It's like baseball. Baseball is one of the only sports that doesn't have a time limit. Right. You could go for days. You can go to
20 innings if it needs to.
If it needs to. Yeah. Put a time limit on it. 3 overtime. So we know max we're going to run within 230 to 240 laps, depending on NASCAR's BS caution, waves. That's what we're going to run no matter what. I think that helps a lot, because then you do get to if you get to the 3rd green, white checker, then you won't see the 10th guy do that, because he's got to finish. He's got to finish.
Yeah, he has to finish.
He has to finish. So
I like that.
Yeah. What do you have? You want to abolish them completely?
No, because you can't. Right?
You can't.
It's been 20 years.
Yeah, you can't.
It's like the chase. It's like the playoffs.
Yeah.
And see, I've got an idea, but I still think the driver mentality is going to ruin this.
Yeah.
But I think once we get to 10 laps to go, caution laps don't count. But I think drivers will run it.
Yeah.
Because what is that? But
that could be
that's
10
just another
green, white
way,
checkers.
That's just another way of saying unlimited green, white checkers.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But the one thing about it is, and I'm stealing this from dirt racing, right? I mean, I've watched dirt races to where there's one lap left, and see, they don't count anything, including positions.
Yeah.
Until you cross the start finish line. So you could, like, you're running second, I'm running first. There's one lap to go. We get the white flag. We go into turn 1, and you just slide job me. You get first. You're leading all the way into turn 4. Caution. Well, you didn't lead that lap.
Yeah.
I did.
Yep.
So now we're going to re-rack. I have the lead, and we have one lap to go.
Yeah. I
Because
think
caution laps don't count.
They
And
don't
they'll
count.
run a million caution laps. They don't
They
care.
don't care. My point to that is then you would have to change the restart system like they do.
You think so?
I do.
In
Yeah.
what way? What do you mean?
Like it's so if you don't know, they run the first car. Correct me.
Right.
He's by himself,
By himself,
and then it's
yeah.
double file behind that. I think if you are not counting, what I'm trying to say this right.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get back around to the start finish line to count him leading that lap and him being in first place, then I don't think you can let the car on the inside or the outside start right beside you. Because imagine if, especially at how big some of our tracks are, you can gap somebody.
Yeah.
Like
I think NASCAR could. I'm not saying they have to do that.
Like you see
part.
what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm like, they can still stick to the rules of whoever was leading when the caution comes
came
up, that's
out.
fine.
Okay.
They can keep that. But I'm just saying, when we get 10 laps to go, like, no matter what, caution laps don't count. So that would be the only thing I'm adding.
The only thing.
That's the only thing, yeah.
I don't see.
But I think it could just easily get out of control.
It could,
like we already have. I think legitimately probably your solution would be the only way to stop all the chaos. And I think it would take, if you said 1 or 3.
3. I said 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, yes. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Because if you ever have
Because if
something
you
that's-
add 1, the chaos is just going to be ramped
Right.
up.
Because they're going to try to get it all right there.
Every single one of them are going to be ended under caution.
Yeah.
I think so.
No, I
because
think
if
so
you're in
too.
10th and you're like, whoa, all I got to do is
Wreck 3.
Yeah.
I'm third.
third. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think that's a really good one, because I think what that would do is, a lot of times it's just going to be the one green, white checkered.
Yeah.
And we're done.
Yeah.
But if you get one that's like the first one's a shit show, the second one's a shit show, now they know, okay, this one, like, I'm in 15th.
Yes.
I'll try to get 14th. But I'm not going to win the race. So I think the mentality changes.
Yeah. It changes over the course of the 3 green, white checkers that you have.
And the more races we do that way, that whole, like, chaos, craziness, like, is no longer in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
Because they know there's a limit.
And I think, again, to my point about NASCAR meddling and the officiating would take it out of yours. I think they could meddle so hard with no caution laps. They could meddle so hard.
So hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'd be debris cautions everywhere.
There'd be debris cautions. And then you have guys that are literally like, hey, we can run up to 2 green, white checkers, but after that, we have no idea. I mean, we saw with Brad. I don't even think his was a green, white checker, but, remember when he pulled off.
At Nashville.
At Nashville.
Yeah.
No.
Wasn't that Indy?
No, Indy. Yes, Indy.
Yeah.
When he pulled off at Indy, like, hey, they'll figure it out that we can run this many, change pit stops. It'll kind of change everything, but we'll know when the race is going to end, and we can go from there.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and if you have a caution under 10 laps, and a dude's like, hey, we can make it 6 under green, they could have 20 more caution laps.
Right.
Yeah,
it gets out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's such a unique rule and a different way to do. I don't think there's any perfect scenario.
There's not going to be
other
a
than
perfect
the
scenario.
drivers just not driving like idiots.
Yeah.
And I really think that's most of it.
Yeah, no, a lot of it is on them.
Yeah.
But like you said, it goes back to why do they have to do that?
They're playing the game.
They're playing the format.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
NASCAR is set up to watch on TV and be the most dramatic thing ever. When we've talked about this, there's so many storylines built in. If they would just focus on those anyway.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's like I've watched all this dirt racing. There's no gimmicks.
No
gimmicks.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes people just absolutely dog walk the field.
Yeah.
It sucks, but like you still, I feel like that that brings a reality into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes those good races great races.
Yes.
Because half the time somebody is going to dominate.
Yeah.
That's just the way racing is. And like I don't
that's what F1 happens every week.
I know, and so many people like F1. I think people appreciate that integrity of it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know why we're fooling people.
Be better.
Yeah,
Max
be better.
Verstappen.
Yeah.
Be better.
And like we've said a million times, own that this is who we are. We're gonna run this distance. If it ends in a caution, or if we only have one green, white, checkered, sorry, but that's racing. That's NASCAR.
Come back next week. We're going to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And own that. Own who you are.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to mold yourself into
something we're not.
This absolute circus that it's come into.
It does. 12 is a ridiculous number.
It's stupid, right?
That's a ridiculous
number. You
number.
said 17. I felt better about 12.
Again.
It feels
not
like,
out of the realm of
it
possibility.
It feels like 20. It feels like every week.
Yes.
It really feels
like every week. It really
does.
Week.
And then you know me, I get a little dramatic. I'm like, well, why isn't every race just 3 laps?
Yes.
At this point, I mean, what's it matter?
Yeah. It just sucks for the top 5 dudes if Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in 25th spins out.
Yeah.
That's what sucks. Now, again, not at a road course as much, but at an oval, it's one of those, like, if second spins out, you're like, maybe we can understand re-racking them. But, if there's 2 to go and you're coming around to the white flag and the dude in 35th freaking just loses it, you're like, what in the... Yes.
Yeah. Just go home.
Yes. Pull it together for 45 more seconds so I can win this race that I deserve to win.
And then it's like the road courses, like the Xfinity race. I think there was 4 laps left when they had the caution. I think they had multiple green, white, checkers. But from the time there was like 4 laps left to the checkered flag, it took an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what are we doing?
Yeah. Well, that's because we run so many caution laps for no reason.
Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't run any of those if there was no such thing as a green, white, checkered.
100%. Yeah.
That's the trade-off, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. I don't know if we solved anything, but I feel better. I feel better about it.
I do.
All right,
we're airing out.
We're airing out. Yeah, it's like therapy for me.
Yeah.
Let's get into a recap at the Glen. What is your good race rating?
I give it an 8.9.
8.9.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it seems a little high, which it may be.
It does.
But
way high.
But I gave Atlanta an 8.1, and I thought this race was better than Atlanta. Okay. So I had to give it higher than that. Again, that may be my bets just bleeding over because I had a good week. But I did think the racing was good. They lied to us, but other than that,
what did you expect?
I mean, I don't know. I know I can't trust them, but
NASCAR is like that toxic girlfriend you had in high school that just lies to you.
Yes,
but you just believe her.
Yeah, you do.
You do.
She's
hot.
You come back. She's so hot.
Like whatever you say, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we got lied to. I gave it a 7.2, and I didn't watch all of it. I just watched highlights. I've religiously watched highlights, so I'm not completely unprepared, but I'm just never have been a huge road course fan, ever. Mm-hmm. I think there's a place for them on the schedule. We have to have them, but not my cup of tea. And then it's funny, you're talking about the tire wear. It's non-existent. Nobody can tell us why.
No. I haven't heard one.
Does that make any sense?
It's literally all we heard the build-up to this race. 4-second fall off, 4-second
that's
fall
what
off.
they tested, too.
Yeah, I know. You heard it from every dude that tested. It was like 4-second fall off, 4-second fall off. And then after, we don't hear anything about it. They're like, all right. Okay.
Well, and I know, and I feel like I have a better understanding of this on ovals than road courses, but I know like and we'll get into this in a little bit even more, but like the spring Bristol race, they could only go 20 laps on those tires before they wore out.
Yeah.
And they said like if we knew, like if this happened yesterday, if they gave us more than 37 seconds to practice,
Yeah.
we could have fixed it. We could have went 40 laps. So I know on ovals they go super aggressive on camber, and then if the tire's going to wear a lot, they can go less aggressive. The car won't go as fast.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because nobody's going 110% every lap, right? So you can go less aggressive on the camber, let the tires last longer, and you're fine. I don't know how that plays out on a road course, so I don't know if there's something they can do to where these guys knew. It's almost like you told the crew chiefs the secret, right?
Yeah.
We have 4 seconds to fall off. There's obviously something they can do to those cars to sacrifice speed and make up for it in wear. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Obviously. But it's so weird that everyone took we're going to prepare for wear.
Smart. They're all smart, right?
I know,
that's the thing about
But at the same time, imagine if you set your car up for speed, you get to where we were at the end of the race, and you're sitting third, and you go get tires, you pull away from everybody.
If you weren't already in 30th position from that's the same thing.
Maybe.
That's the same thing, like, in my opinion, like with the option tire at Richmond.
Yeah.
You can give these guys options, but they're all so smart. We're all in the same little box. Everyone's going to do the same thing.
It worked out for Daniel, though, in that Richmond race. He almost got him.
Yeah. Right.
You see what I'm saying, though?
That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Again, if that is the case, I think more people would have opted for speed. I do. I think they would have planned, been like, hey, we have to pit in 20 laps or 15. We can't run the full 20 and make up time. But over time, with the sets that they give us, we will get them. Like, we will pretty much not take out a pit stop, but we'll be going so much faster that we won't, if we have to stop one more time, it won't matter.
Yeah. Which I guess kind of goes back to our super speedway theory.
Exactly.
So do we just need someone to try this?
I don't know.
I don't know. Like it. I don't know either.
But we don't know if that's the cause.
We don't.
Maybe NASCAR just lied. Because I just don't see the entire field taking out that much speed. You know what I mean? The entire
field drives at 20% throttle at Daytona.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it makes you wonder.
Yeah, it
and
makes you
wonder. Neither one of us
wonder.
know, right?
No,
but I'm
we
just
don't.
saying, like, it makes you wonder. I feel like there's something they can do to these cars to make tire wear not matter.
100, and I'm agreeing with you. I just think if they all bit into that hook, line, and sinker, that we were going to lose 4 seconds of tire wear.
Yeah.
I just don't think that if that wasn't the case, that we would have had every team do that. Every single one of them.
It's true.
I don't know.
That's
because,
a good point.
because if you, again, it's a lottery, but half the teams know that. You can't tell me that if really like a AJ Allmendinger may be a bad example, but some of those guys that are not great on road courses but okay, if they wouldn't have had a little speed,
you get an advantage somewhere.
You get a couple cautions to go your way. People take that all the time.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. That's a really good point. So Buescher spoiled.
Yeah.
Which only pisses me off more because I know he's a playoff contender.
Yeah.
And now he's got to win. He's going to just dominate 17th in points. Mm-hmm. And then what do you think about SVG making a mistake?
We saw the first time at a road course that he's made a massive, or in his racing career that I've seen, that he's made an error, like a legit error. And hey, puts it in perspective that we all make mistakes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even the best to do it. Grazed the wall on the chicane or the bus stop. The bus stop.
Yeah.
Hits the wall. I think he was just looking in the mirror too much.
Yeah.
If he would have drove,
he had already bumped Chris a little bit, I think.
No, Chris. Yes, he
was running. He was running.
Literally out of turn one. He kind of got into him.
Yeah, so he was running because he knew it was coming.
Yeah, he knew it was coming, but I still think if he would have focused, Chris wouldn't have got him.
Yeah,
Chris would have never got. Literally, what gave him the run was that he got slowed by 20 miles an hour by hitting the wall.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And then Chris was there.
Yeah.
And we knew, because you mentioned it all the time, like Busher's really good on road courses.
Yes.
So I feel like it was just a matter of time before he won one.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're always so strong there. The Fords are normally pretty good at these tracks. So
Yeah.
the only thing slowing him back sometimes is his team. You know, personally,
for
still
sure.
to this day, he's kind of in that Bubba Tyler Reddick 2311 where they just
they're just a step behind or step below. However you say it.
Yeah. You know, they're just not firing on all cylinders across the board.
So did you like having a road course in round one?
I did. I enjoyed it. I think if we're gonna have them,
Because we're gonna have another one.
yeah,
when we get to the Roval.
and we can talk about having two, but having one is a must. You must have it somewhere. If we're gonna run them in the regular season, and we want to hold ourselves to a higher standard, we have to put one in the playoffs to win a championship. It has to be essential. Now, to me, I think we should only have one, but we should move it back. Like
Deeper in the playoffs.
deeper in the playoffs. Because the other one you're talking about is the Roval, right?
Which,
again,
chaos.
that's what I'm going to get into. I think that we should only go to road courses. That I don't think that we should do a Roval. There should be no ovals involved in a road course.
Right.
There shouldn't be.
the only one, like, because obviously the road course at Daytona is historic.
Yes.
Not for NASCAR,
No.
but like the Roval only came to be because the races on the oval sucked so much.
Yeah.
And now the mile and a halves are stupid.
Yeah, they're
Like,
so
amazing.
good. Yeah.
So I'm with you, and I don't mind Watkins Glen being in the playoffs. I'm like you though. I kind of like, I don't like the first round.
Yeah.
And I think part of that honestly is just because we came off Atlanta, which should never be
In the playoffs anyway.
playoffs to begin
Especially
with.
now. It could have been
but
4 years.
what a weird round this is. And see,
Yes.
I used to love round one because it used to go Darlington. It was like Vegas, and then Bristol. So it was like you got the junk out of there.
Yeah.
Like Harrison Burt, like Austin Cindric wouldn't be fourth in points right now.
Nope.
On that old one. So I'm trying to. I think what sour opinions I have about the Glen being in the playoffs really stems from last week.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
It does.
But I'm with you. I think if our guys are the best, and we're going to make this a 10-race season in the playoffs, then we need to have
You need to
at
have
least
a road
two.
course. Yeah, two. But again,
But real ones.
Real ones. And if you want to do one, if you're going to keep the Roval, switch them. Switch them. Put the Glen in round of 8.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Round of 8.
Yep.
Put the Glen in the round of 8 because that is a road course. The Glen is a road course, and I personally enjoy road courses. The more I've watched them, the more you get into them, the skill it takes, the shifting. You're doing everything a driver has to do for that many laps. Like when you have 17 turns, I think the Glen's like 12 or 13.
Right.
12 or 13. You have to, the braking zone, the shifting, you have to do that 13 times for how many they run?
It's like 90 laps.
90 laps.
Yeah.
90 laps. You have to do that 90 times.
Yeah. And I think what really has turned me off on road courses lately is just the chaos they've become.
Yes.
Because otherwise I'm like you. I think it's a skill that's so impressive to have. Twist my arm.
Yeah. I'd hate to.
All right, so anything else on Watkins Glen before we get into standouts?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered it.
All right, so we got Carson Corey.
Oh, my. This is the episode for Colby to miss because he's just been eating that Corey LaJoy hind end, just loving it. And then here Carson just schools him.
Isn't it hilarious?
He had a chance to win.
Well, the one time, I guess twice now, that Corey's finished top 10 on a non-drafting track. So Corey finishes 8th.
Yeah.
Still the last Spire car.
Yep.
That is so funny to me.
Yep.
But we're skipping right over lap 1.
Yeah. Yep.
where he takes out 5 people, I think.
It was several.
Several.
It was several.
Might have been 4, but
Yeah.
we'll call it 5 because that's
Yeah, that's
why
Corey.
not. But I listened to his podcast today, just a little bit of it, and he was talking about it, of course, and he was like, when you're going through there, you can't see anything. There's nowhere to judge. And he's just like, oh, and I'm like, that's crazy because there was 38 people out there,
Yeah.
and only one of them wrecked 5 cars.
Yep.
And that was you.
Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't call it a mistake, more of a miscalculation. What?
Yeah. Come on. You're a professional race car driver.
But they haven't said, a little bit of silly season here, they haven't said who's going to be in that 7 car.
No.
Who's that going to be?
Kyle Busch.
But no way. No way. Why would you leave a... I'm not saying RCR is great, but I do think RCR is better than Spire.
Yeah, but you want to be with Rodney.
Rodney, once again, just like you can't drive a slow car fast, you can't crew chief a slow car.
You clearly don't have that slow of a car. You clearly don't. Carson is murdering it.
He
is.
But realistically, where's he at? He's 22nd in points?
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. I know.
So
but
what's Kyle going to do in a...
I mean, what's Kyle at? 18th?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
not saying that Spire is better. I'm saying they're the same. I'm thinking they're the same.
It's just hard for me to wrap my head around that. How in the world?
I don't know, but I'm just telling you, they got engineers. They got somebody that is pulling the strings for our boy Carson.
Yeah. I don't know. I do think...
how many top 10s has Kyle Busch had this year?
I don't know. Not many. Definitely more than Carson, though. Carson's had like 4 or 5.
I know, but...
Kyle Busch ain't that bad.
No, he's not that bad.
He was 6 inches away from winning a race at Atlanta, and then we wouldn't even be talking about this.
You're right, but we are, because he didn't win.
Because he didn't.
Yeah, because he didn't. Hold on, sorry, I'm looking it up now.
He almost passed Harrison Burton to win Daytona. And then we really wouldn't be talking about this.
Ted.
I would say Kyle Busch, we ran 28 races. I'm going to say Kyle Busch has 11 top 10s.
We had 5 top 5s. 10s, 20. Sorry. Just want to check. We can't be spreading misinformation.
I know.
Like Colby does.
We've had Colby on too much. We have to fact check everything.
We do. You look up Carson's.
Carson's top 10s?
Yes.
What are you just Googling?
Googling Kyle's.
I feel like it shouldn't be this hard to find.
It shouldn't, but I'm struggling. You'll probably find both of them before I find one of them.
I probably could. It should be on the NASCAR app. You go
no, it was just top 10s.
That's what we were talking about.
No, it was just top 5s. I'm sorry. I mean, Carson only has one top 5. He got it this week.
Right.
But he is literally, if you look at the driver standings, Kyle Busch is 20th. Carson Osvar is 22nd.
So he's had 4 top 10s.
He's had 4 top 10s.
Carson has.
Carson has.
I know
Kyle Busch has way more than that.
Yeah. What did I say, 11?
Yeah, 1.
I'm going to say 13.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
That's lower than I thought.
Yeah. 9.
So twice as many.
Twice as many.
Is he twice the driver of Carson Osvar?
Yeah.
Twice?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Whoa, I think that's a crazy statement.
I mean, Carson's pretty good.
Carson is really good. He's no Kyle Busch.
But Kyle Busch ain't twice the driver. I mean, that's crazy.
He's 1.5. I mean, he's
I don't
1.5.
think. Regardless, I don't think Kyle Busch is. If you ask me, I think it's going to be. We're going to get all hyped up over this, and then Justin Haley and Corey are switching seats.
Okay,
that's what I think.
I don't know.
I mean, I hope you're right.
I would just love to see the pairing that, and we've talked about this of Kyle Busch.
Spire. I mean, what's the? I feel like that's
again. As we've seen, we saw what Kevin did for Stewart Haas. Why couldn't Kyle Busch do that for Spire? Why couldn't he? You see what I'm saying, though? We have seen these really good driver and crew chief pairings be head over heels better than anything that was coming out of the race shop. But clearly.
Yes, but Rodney's never had this lack of resources that he's about to be into.
I would argue that the lack of resources started earlier than we think it did at Stewart Haas.
Okay.
I would argue that.
But what did he show? I mean, it ain't like Josh ever was even close.
I know. You're right. I'm saying just slowly over time. All it takes is 1 year for you to, you cut $100,000, then you cut another 100. You just get tighter and tighter and tighter on things, and then you're looking at an 8-year span where we've lost $1 million. You know what I mean?
No, that's true. That's true.
But it looks like from the year before, hey, we just cut our budget by $1,000 because we're not doing as good.
Right.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't know. And when you're talking about resources, to me, you mean money.
Well, not necessarily money. I'm just saying when you're a key partner,
yes,
with the manufacturer, you're going to get more data. You're going to get more sim time.
Yeah.
You're going to get more support. Not just dollars, just like support.
Yes.
We've been in the wind tunnel. We've been in the engine shop. Like, that information gets funneled to a key partner first. And it doesn't trickle down. So I don't know. I'm really what I'm doing here is building a case to apologize for Rodney Childers next year when there's still just a Spire car.
Yeah.
Because he's not a miracle worker.
He's not a miracle worker, but...
And I feel like you're asking for him to work a miracle.
I'm feeling like I'm just asking him to be fucking good, okay?
I wish I knew sports enough to like compare what this would be.
Are you? To me, the only comparison I can draw is when Tom Brady came to the Bucs and then they won, and Kyle Busch being Tom Brady. In this case.
If you took, here's what it would be. Who's the worst team? Who's the worst team?
The Carolina Panthers. If we're talking NFL, the worst team.
Perfect. Okay.
The worst team.
So let's move back. Like let's pretend Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are still around.
Yeah.
You plop Bill Belichick and Tom Brady into the current Panthers.
Yeah.
It's still the Panthers.
I think they win triple the games. Triple the games.
Well, triple of 1 is 3.
Still triple.
Okay.
I think they win 2. I think they win 2 games.
You're not going to the Super Bowl.
I think they win 2 games
this
year.
You're not going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, their conference is kind of good. But, yeah, I mean, you're right. You're not going to the Super Bowl, but you might make the playoffs. Something he can't do at RCR.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just feel like it's a wash. At like best case scenario,
he finishes the same.
I feel like it's a wash.
I think that's the argument I'm trying to make too. Is that at worst case scenario, it's a wash.
Yeah. But the more likely scenario
is that he does better. No, I think he does better. I'm telling you, I think the worst case scenario is a wash. I think the worst thing is a wash.
I guess okay. Let me back up because I don't know words. Best case scenario to me would be a wash.
No, I'm on the opposite end.
It can only get worse.
I don't think so. No, I don't. We have seen how much money they are willing to throw around. They want to be a player.
Yeah, but when you don't have a manufacturer with you, you can spend all the money in the world. What's it matter?
I know, but wouldn't stealing Kyle Busch from RCR just be more of like, hey, we would rather be a key partner. I mean, they're not dropping
They wouldn't even follow Jimmy Johnson. You think they're going to follow Kyle Busch?
I mean, that's fair. That's very fair. That's very fair. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I don't have anything to say to that. I don't have a rebuttal for that one. I don't. That's a good point.
Thank you.
I'll give you
we'll end it there. All right, we got a little off. So the last thing I want to touch on standouts. Denny's going into Bristol 6 points below the cut line. Are we even worried?
No, but God, yeah. I mean, it's like we probably should be, but is Denny at Bristol? Is Denny at Bristol?
But it's just
everything's
gone wrong for him that could possibly go wrong.
Exactly. Why has he put himself in this situation?
Well, part of this is because of the whole engine deal.
100%.
He basically lost a win and 5-6 playoff points or something like that. Even more
makes a
because
difference.
He could have won the regular season championship.
Yeah, which would have gave him
15.
Yeah.
So I mean, you put some of it on them for sure, but Atlanta, whatever they did what they did. But Watkins, Glen, lap 1, you get wrecked by Coil of Joy.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he without the regular season championship involved at all, he's 6 points below. So if he didn't lose 6 playoff points because of this engine thing,
he'd be in. Yeah. And possibly could have 15 because he would have been in contention to win.
100%. Yeah. But just taking that out of it, say he didn't win and, Tyler Reddick still wins.
Yeah, he'd be in.
Yeah.
And I think what will happen, and we'll get into this on our predictions a little later on, I finally feel like we're going to a legitimate racetrack.
Yeah.
And so I think even your Cindrix, who's pretty safe, like he's not going to run well.
No.
Harrison's not going to run well. Daniel Suarez is not going to run well. I mean, all Denny has to do is keep it clean.
Yeah.
And do what we know he can do.
Yeah. I mean, the other people on the bubble would be Denny, Brad, Martin, and Harrison. They're all under the cut line. Martin's in real trouble.
I just feel like Martin, I think last year at Bristol, he was in a similar scenario, but he just squeaked his way into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because he was a regular season champion.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have speed. I don't see him having speed again.
No, he was one of my first 4 out. I don't think he cuts the deal. But above that, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, they're +6. I mean,
I don't see Briscoe having speed.
I don't know. I
just really don't.
You're right.
Well, let's get into your bets because we're doing too many predictions. I want to argue with you later.
Yeah.
So
arguing. You're not going to argue with this one. We talked about it. You're not. Denny to 3-peat. Denny to win. Half a unit.
Did you want to? Well, hold on. You're burying the lead here. Did you want to tell us where we finished up from the Glen?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. Oh my gosh,
your biggest win in the history.
My biggest win. If you didn't tune in last week, I went SVG, SVG, and SVG. Winner, top 3, top 5. We won 5.4 units on that.
Nice.
Putting us up 1.2 units.
We are up?
We're up.
Is that the first time all year?
No, not all year, but it's been a minute since like week 3, I think.
Okay.
But
so basically.
It's been a minute. So we're up 1.2, and I'm pretty excited about it. And so I've got a slate here, because we know anything can happen here. Mm-hmm. We don't exactly know the tire wear situation again. We kind of talked about it off air. But they're bringing the same tire that they did in the spring. Allegedly. So we'll see where it goes. And if they're bringing the same tire, I'm betting my bottom dollar Denny Hamlin's going to win that dude. Denny Hamlin's going to win that dude. Half a unit plus 500 to win. Favorite. Him and Larson are tied. So, another guy that it's about that time. I don't think you're going to argue too much with this one. It Probably a little bit later, we're going to be on him heavy, but I think he's going to rise to the occasion. C. Bell, half a unit, top 3, plus 195. That seems good. He's good at short.
Very good.
Seems good at short tracks. Toyotas are going to have speed. It's that time. C-Bill's been quiet on us again, and when he gets quiet,
just about the time you forget about him,
he gets loud, and this will be the time that he dominates, gets us to top 3. From there, I got a whole unit on those two guys, or half a unit each for a total of 1. My next one, dude, I can't pass it up again. Bowman, top 10, plus 180. Plus 180. In the last 4 races, he's finished top 10 there twice.
At Bristol?
At Bristol.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
When I was looking at the stats earlier.
Quiet.
A quiet 6th, a quiet 7th. That's a top 10. That pays.
Yeah.
Okay? He's in no jeopardy. Might as well go out there and race good. I mean, he's one of the top 4 drivers right now in the playoffs, which is crazy to say.
Full unit on that?
Yeah, full unit on that.
Okay.
I'm confident in my boy Bowman.
I like
my boy
like
Ben's
it.
going to be there. He's going to be cheering on the
Has he
Bowman
got some
train.
Bowman gear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
He's got a lot of Bowman gear,
Good.
actually. So from there, this is when it kind of gets spicy. You're probably not going to like these. I'll hit you with your least favorite one probably first. I don't know. You may hate both of them equally. Josh Berry, top 10.
Okay.
Half a unit, plus 145. We've seen he can qualify well there. He finished 12th there in the spring.
145?
Plus 145. Which to me is crazier that Alex Bowman's odds are higher than Josh Berry's.
Has he finished, 4th there in the spring?
No, he finished 12th there in the spring.
I thought he finished 4th. I thought it was like Denny, Brad, Truex, and then Josh. Because it's all those guys that can save tires.
Hold on.
I don't got 30 minutes for you to look.
I'm looking right now.
I know, but let me just look for you.
Josh finished
4th, I swear.
No.
I put money on it.
No.
No?
No.
He finished 12th.
Yeah. Denny, Martin, Brad, Bowman.
Bowman
finished 4th. Yes. Yes.
What?
Kyle Larson, John Hunter Nemechek, Chris Buescher, Chase Elliott, Ty Seabell, Michael McDowell, Josh Berry. Started second.
He led a lot of laps, though.
Yes. He led like 36.
Yeah.
I guess that's a lot.
It seems like a lot.
It's not a quarter of the race. Okay. It's not even
it's
a quarter.
500 lap race.
Okay, it's not even a quarter.
Right.
But
you're right, buddy.
Okay,
You're
thank
right.
you.
That's
what I wanted to hear.
You have another half unit. Let's hear it.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to quarter me up here.
Carson Hocevar, top 10, plus 460.
All right. Half unit.
Half unit. Finds it. We're sweeping the weekend. We can sweep the weekend with that.
You can. Those are good ones, too. Those are
They're
really
not bad.
Ones.
Plus 460 on Carson. Of course, that's not our longest shot. Apparently, Denny to win. Plus 500 is more. But, God, that seems like it should be minus 3.
It's just one of those things where, yes, Denny should win, and you would think so, but it's like, I'm just waiting for something crazy to...
Yeah.
Like the Colossus TV at Bristol will fall in.
Yeah.
It'll hit his car.
Yeah.
That would happen to Denny.
It would. But, I mean, let's be honest. He's got to get hot now if he wants to compete for a championship. I mean, he's got to win some stages.
Or he can just limp his way in and then win Phoenix.
Yeah, but, oh my gosh. If you want to get into more tracks that don't fit Denny's driving style, really, that he's just not dominant at, we're getting there again.
I know.
You know?
Well, I think he said if he can get to the round of 8, that's when the real tracks
Yes.
start.
But he's got to get through.
He's
got
gotta
to
get
get through.
If he can limp through
4 more races.
If he can limp through Bristol, I mean, ideally win, then, playoff points restart like we talked about. If he wins, then he carries another 5 points in to the next round. So that would help too.
Yeah, because, after Bristol, we have Kansas, Talladega, and Charlotte. The Roval. Yeah. And then like you said, the round of 8 is really good. We go to Las Vegas, we go to Miami, and we go to Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
The best round.
Yeah.
The best round.
Really, you're asking Kyle Larson to win 3 races in a row.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And he could.
Yeah, he could.
He really could. He really could. So
okay, so
that's my picks this week.
No, I like those a lot, and we're up 1.2 units.
1.2.
So we need something to hit because I don't want to go back in the hole. But we got a half unit on Denny to win. That's plus 300.
Plus 5.
5. Oh,
Yeah.
I can't read my handwriting. Plus 500.
Yeah.
Seabell top 3 plus 195 half unit.
Yeah.
Bowman top 10 plus 180 a full unit.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Berry top 10 half unit at plus 145. And then our savior Carson Hocevar top 10 plus 460.
60. Yeah.
460.
Yeah. Doesn't that sound a bit crazy?
Well, I just remember him in the spring race. He struggled.
He did struggle.
Remember, he intentionally spun himself.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what, because he couldn't find pit road.
Yeah.
And he just wrecked.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't care.
Yeah.
But no, I feel good about those.
Okay.
So we're gonna sweep.
Yep.
Calling it now.
First weekend. Might as well get hot now.
Might as well. All right. Well,
let's see, Bill.
Let's move that over into predictions. We got into this a little bit earlier. So they said they're bringing the same tire.
Yep.
Basically, what they think. Evidently, tire wear is a mystery to everybody, including the people that do this for a living. So they think that what made the tires wear in the spring was the colder temperatures, less cars on track, so the track really never got rubbered up. And is that good? I heard a computer.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That was an accident.
I heard a computer noise.
Yeah.
So the cold weather made them not lay rubber down, and there's already not rubber on the track.
Yeah.
So if we bring the same tire, it should be a little bit warmer, you would think. And then we're going to have ARCA, trucks, and Xfinity on the track before Cup.
Yes.
So I think we'll see tires last over 100 laps. That's my prediction.
Wow.
Which is how it's been in next gen.
Yeah, no.
Until the spring.
But I'm sorry that I'm appalled by that prediction a little bit, just because we see them last 30 maybe in the spring.
Yeah,
30.
But before that, it was 100. And then you remember when Busher won there in 22, he was on 2 tires.
Yes, he won on 2. Nope. I'm with you. I hope that we get to 50. 50 to...
No, I do too, but I'm setting myself up to be surprised.
Okay. Well, my prediction is 50, 60 laps. That's mine. If I had to predict...
Your heart broke.
I might. And you know what? I'm a Tennessee football fan. I get it broke all the time.
That's true.
Yeah. No, 50 to 60 laps.
I think that'd be perfect. That's the perfect amount you want. That sets us up for 10 pit stops. I mean, perfect.
And again, when I say back in the day, when you remember the very last of the Gen 6 car where you're running out of sets of tires. That used to be a storyline.
Yes.
And I don't think we talk about that enough sometimes. Where we're like, hey, you have 8 sets of tires. And I remember when Kevin would do it, they would pit on these late race restarts, and they'd be like, dude, we don't have a set for the next one.
We got qualifying scuffs or something like that. Yeah.
That is such a good storyline.
You know what the other funny thing is? I just saw, I think it was Timmy Hill said this the other day. They were running a race. It might have been when Blaney and Truex wrecked real early. What race was that? What race did Truex just wreck out of?
Darlington?
Yeah, Darlington.
Yes. Yeah.
So Darlington, I guess Timmy Hill was racing in that race, and as soon as it happened, he went to his crew chief. He was like, "All right, time to go make a deal." So evidently, these teams can buy unused tires from other teams. So these low budget teams will only buy like 2 sets of tires, right? Like from the Goodyear truck. And then when teams wreck out, they'll go over there and be like, "Hey, so you don't have to load those tires up on your truck or return them. We'll buy them at a discounted price."
No.
Yes.
I did not know
either.
that.
I didn't know that either. Which seems wild that that's legal.
Yeah.
Like absolutely wild. Because like what?
I mean, why wouldn't it be though?
Well, because what if you're? Let's say we go to Bristol, right? And
Yeah.
tires are wearing out.
Yeah.
And William Byron wrecks lap 1, and Larson's in battle with
Larson
Denny.
needs a set of
They just
tires.
took Willie B's, and now he's got an advantage on Denny that Denny doesn't have. You know, I'm just like magically thinking things up, but I'm just saying that seems weird that that's allowed
Yeah.
to me. I don't know.
But now is the rule like, hey, are you only allowed to buy 10 sets
See, I don't know that.
in total?
I don't know that.
You know, no matter, like if we figure out you bought an 11th set of tires from someone,
What are
you're
they gonna
done.
do, park you, I guess, or
Take your win away. I mean, I don't know if you were to win. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's interesting though.
is
That's
interesting.
that's a how'd you find that?
Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it may
get
not
on
be
there.
true.
I get on there every now and then.
Yeah, you do.
I'll tell you another funny tire thing. This was 2017, maybe. I think it was 17, but it was I think that's right. The year that Kyle Busch swept every race, he won
Yes.
trucks. I was there for all 3.
That's
And
insane.
he was dominating the Cup race so much. They took his tires off, like at pit stop. NASCAR came and confiscated them, put them in a dunk tank to see if there was bubbles. Because though a lot of times back in the day, they drill little holes in them so they would bleed.
Yep.
And so, what's the easiest way to see if they're doing that? Put it underwater and see if it bubbles. And so they're taking Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch is still out there leading by half a track, and they've got his tires just like they got to be cheating, and he wasn't.
Wow.
Put him in a giant dunk, which is kind of funny too. It's like, do they take a dunk tank with them?
Yeah.
Or were they just like
they get an old cow trough and
right?
fill it up with
Like,
water?
where did that come from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A swimming pool from the Dollar General. They
They went out to the campground. They're like, somebody has a blow up pool.
Yeah.
So we put Kyle Busch's Goodyear. Where does that come from?
I don't know.
Random thought. But,
That is good.
So we'll see how tires wear. We talked about this earlier. I think we're going to see the good guys be good.
Yeah. Finally.
And then, you have any other Bristol predictions? I got 2 things I want to talk about that are not Cup related.
No. I think I'm good.
So Thursday night, ARCA and Trucks.
Yep.
Our boy Corey Day,
Yeah.
sprint car driver,
Yeah.
is racing in ARCA and the Trucks.
Let's go.
So he's raced ARCA before, like once or twice. I think just once, but he's making his truck debut. So he's gonna run that ARCA race, hop out, jump straight into a truck. So I think that'll be really, really exciting. It'll be cool to see where he goes. And then Connor Zilish is racing a truck too.
Yep.
Which I think he's another one, like future Cup champion. I say that about Corey Day too, but we don't really know.
No.
But I can confidently say Connor Zilish, future Cup champion.
I think a lot of people are saying that now.
But Corey Day, I mean, if he translates to stock cars like Kyle Larson did, and Christopher Bell, because he's kind of on that same he's 18 years old, waxing ass in a 410 sprint car. So that would be cool to see. Obviously, Friday night, we got Dale Jr. coming back.
Yep.
Almost won this race last year. I'm telling you, if he wins this race, that place will burn to the ground.
Will. We might not have a Cup race.
There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. If he wins the Xfinity race, like, they'll just find him a Cup car.
Yes.
Just like, get in it,
Yeah.
please.
Please.
Go run 32nd.
You could kick Corey out.
Ideally.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That would be amazing. But I think that's 2 cool things, and I'm super excited. Obviously, we're going, and we'll get into that at the end here. But that's the only reason I bring those up, because I'm going to go to all those. I'm just super excited. So.
Yeah, I'll be at the truck race. Not probably going to the Xfinity race, but I'll be at the Cup race, baby.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Well, good deal. Well, let's close it on out.
Yeah.
I think we got another choose who zone. I'm going to
Yes,
move
sir.
around a little bit so I can see these ridiculous hints.
Yeah.
Good job to Colby. He did pick Jamie McMurray. So
did.
me and Spencer talked about that one. We wanted to pick someone that he would get, but that would still be a little bit hard. And I think it was a little too easy for him, honestly.
It really was.
So if he comes back, we gotta
do better.
Yeah.
He did ask a good question, which helped him.
Yeah.
But
You want me to say? I can stay away from that question if you want.
no, I mean we'll see.
Let me see how hard it is, and then I'll decide if I want to be noble.
Turn around for a second. I'm sorry. You are good to go now. All right. If you haven't been with us, we'll run through it again. This is the Choose Who's Zone, our new game that we do here with Austin. Our rules: I'm going to give him 3 facts, 2 questions, 3 total guesses. So we kind of talked about not doing the questions, but I'm going to leave it as is right now. So we'll see. I should have added this. I have rule to veto your question. So yeah. I have rule to.
That's an important one.
Yeah. Now again, I can just veto your question. You can ask another one. You don't lose the question guess. Okay.
All right.
Or the
we're going
question.
full executive orders here.
Yeah.
All right.
I made the PowerPoint. Okay. So.
All right.
Fact 1. Best finish in the Cup Series was 11th in 1994. 1994.
All right.
I
got an idea.
Fact 2. Only race win was at Darlington in 1988.
That would have been during the tire wars. So we
One
probably had Hoosiers on.
win driver. 1988.
Oh, God. Okay.
Fact 3. First Cup race was in 1980 and last race was in 1998. So he raced a long while. Need to see any of those again?
No, so that... I'm pretty sure... Oh, my God. This is going to kill me if I don't get this, because I feel like I know. I think that was during the tire wars. And I think he had Hoosiers on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just able to... Which made me think... Jarrett Cope, but I know Jarrett Cope won Daytona as well. Somebody won Darlington on Hoosiers. That's got to be who this was.
Couldn't tell you that.
You couldn't tell me that?
I couldn't tell. I mean, I can maybe try to find that real quick. If is that the question you want to ask?
No, that's not the question I want to ask.
Did he win this on Hoosier tires?
No, but I think he did. I think that's why. Because obviously tires make such a difference there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's around when the tire wars were happening. And this guy, and I remember a story of Dale Earnhardt saying he came up to the guy and was like, "You're going to win today," because he had Hoosiers. Not Derek Cope. Okay, I'm ready for a question.
Okay, hit me with it.
What team was this guy driving for when he won Darlington in '88? Is that a fair question?
I'll give it to you.
I'm trying to make
I'll give it to you.
fair.
I mean, I don't know. He won in 88. Oh, may have wrote down the wrong year that he won. Hold on.
This is an automatic win.
No, it's not. No, I was right.
Okay.
He won with Speed Racing.
What a name.
Yeah.
What a name. What a waste of a question.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez Louise.
He won with Speed Racing.
I get 3 questions.
No, you have one more.
What?
Yeah. You get
I can
3
swap
guesses.
a guess. I can swap a guess for a question.
Mm-hmm.
Where's this driver from?
This driver is from the great state of Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. His 2 questions are gone, folks.
Wow, that did not help me at all. Okay, question. I'm gonna ask.
Okay.
No, it can't be him.
Oh,
Okay,
I'm feeling confident.
I'll ask.
Okay.
My first guess.
Your first guess.
Is it Rick Mast?
Wrong.
Fuck.
2 guesses left. 2 guesses left. Ooh.
I feel like I know who it is. Do I know the name? I've got to know the name.
You probably do. When I
Probably
say it,
do.
you probably do.
I probably do.
You probably do. I don't know your full extent of NASCAR knowledge.
Speed racing. Would love to know more about that. What a name.
Ask a question.
That takes away an
Yeah, it does. It takes away a guess. You would have one guess if you ask one more question. This is where this game gets good. This is what I wanted right here.
I know.
Yeah. So you have 2 more guesses, or you have another question?
I should have asked who he finished 11th. I'm trying not to do the number. I'm really trying not to do the number because I want to be fair.
I don't even know if the number would help you.
Really?
It might. It might.
Not. I don't know why I picked Rick Mast because I think he's the one person that ran Goodyears his whole career. But it's someone like that. Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi, really?
Mm-hmm. Jackson, Mississippi.
That's so random.
That's where he was born.
I should have asked how many. Oh, he's only got 1 win.
Yeah.
Darlington.
Mm-hmm. 1988.
It had to have been Tire Wars. Why would your only win be at Darlington in 88? That's why it's going to be so obscure.
Yeah.
I want to burn a guess, but I don't know what question to ask. I'm really curious about the best finish in 1994.
Okay.
I'm just talking out loud here.
Yeah. You're very curious.
Because that should tell you. 11th in 1994.
11th in points.
There's not a ton of teams that would have been decent. But I feel like if I ask this question, then it's going to be like, he raced for speed racing. Then it's going to be 1994 for checkered flag racing.
It could be. Or you could know the team. You could know who drew for
All right, I'm going to burn a guess.
Okay.
My third question.
Okay.
Who was he driving for in 1994?
Budmore Engineering. One guess left. Does Spencer get his first win on week 3? And actually, it would be 1-1 for us. So now I win. He's thinking. If you're just listening, he's thinking.
I just gotta create.
You need to think out loud for us. Help the listeners.
No, because I don't. I feel like I've heard the story of who won in 88.
You probably have.
I need you to look up, regardless of what happens, we need to find out if this was a tire war race.
Okay.
Because if not, then there's no point in me even guessing.
Okay.
Because I won't know. You don't have to tell me now.
I won't.
Man. Speed racing. What a ridiculous... Speed racing?
Yeah.
Who does that? He's running for speed racing.
Mm-hmm.
They win one race in Darlington in 88. Best finish 11th in 1994. That would have been... Don't make faces at me.
Okay.
Don't make faces at me.
Okay, I'm not making faces.
God. I've got to guess, but I don't think it's right at all. I don't think I was far off when I guessed Rick Mast as far as it being someone similar to Rick Mast and like statistics.
Yeah.
But who else would that be? Okay. This can't be right. Because you wouldn't have picked this guy. Okay, my last guess.
Yep.
Is it Robert Presley?
Wrong.
God.
Lake Speed. Lake Speed. Speed racing? I thought that would give it away.
That did not give it away at all.
Thank the Lord it didn't give it away.
Because I was just thinking some corny race name.
I'm glad.
Lake Speed. He drove the Spam car.
Yep.
Michael Waltrip punched him in the face.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
See, I knew you would know this guy.
God.
I knew you would know
I don't
this
think
guy.
I would have got it, though. I really don't think I would have got
Good.
it. I feel stupid because you told me speed racing.
Yeah, you should.
Wow. I just thought that was something ridiculous.
Yeah.
I really did.
No, Lake Speed.
Like Front Row Motorsports?
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
We're just making shit up. We're just making cool names. Oh my God, that's a good one, Spence.
Thank you.
Can you fill me on the 1988?
Yeah, 1988 to 1989 were the tire wars. I know it says, just quick research, at the end of the 1988 season, Hoosier had won 9 of the 29 races. But I'm not fully getting on who won what race. Every time I click on a page, they're gone to where Wikipedia found this information. So I do apologize.
Hold on, I'll find.
Yeah. Yeah. Not here.
Hold on, are you sure you won in 1988?
Yeah. I'm positive. I'm positive.
Yeah, you won on. So I can click on this race.
Tell me something I don't know already. Lake Speed.
Lake Speed escaped a multi-car wreck in the opening laps and breezed to one of the sport's most dramatic upset wins. That's all it says. He had to be on Hoosiers. Right?
Richmond. I don't know. It says in 1998, Hoosier entered the Winston Cup Series. Hoosier gained an early advantage in the season's second race at Richmond, where Morgan Shepherd took the pole and Neil Bonnet won the race using Hoosiers. 2 weeks later, Bonnet won again at Rockingham, which would not
Here we go. Because of Speed having sponsorship from Hoosier, he was able to run Hoosiers at Darlington in a test prior to the race. And he discovered that the tires were not blistering as everyone else thought they would. This enabled Speed to have the advantage and win the Trans-South 500 at Darlington that year.
There you go.
Leading 178 laps and winning by nearly half of a second.
Yep. There you go.
So really, I half won.
No, that's a full loss, buddy.
Oh,
that's
man.
a full
All
loss.
right, well, I'll give you one. So it's 2-1. I got a little asterisk here. I'm counting Colby's win as my win.
Okay.
So we're 2-1.
2-1.
Damn, that was a good one. That was a really good one.
You like that one?
I like that one. I'm just so upset about the speed racing thing. I'm probably gonna not sleep tonight.
Yeah, you should. Can't wait till your
I
dad
bet when you said
sees
that, you're like, oh.
Yeah. I literally was trying to keep the biggest poker face. I was literally, in my mind, I was like, I almost was like, no, I'm not going to answer that. This is the dude's last name.
But also, it's speed.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Maybe like your last name being carburetor. I don't know.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That
But you
hurts.
clearly knew his name.
No, I know his name, yeah.
Yeah.
I drove the old, I think it's the number 9 Spam car. That's probably not the one he was driving when he won, but
No, it wasn't.
that's like the iconic paint
He drove
scheme.
the 83. No. Yeah, the 83 when he won for speed racing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
God. All right, well, let's close this thing out.
Yeah.
That was a good one. That was a good one. I'm just very mad at myself.
Gotta be. Gotta be.
But we'll move right along. So this week we are both going to Bristol.
Yep.
So we'll be in my dad's RV. So I didn't listen to the full episode last week, but I guess Colby called it a mobile mansion.
He did.
Made his day.
Yeah. Because it is.
Because it is.
Yeah.
So we'll have to make sure we thank him and make sure he has a good time.
He's always a great host.
Yep, very good host.
Yep.
So we don't deserve him, that's for sure.
Yep.
But what are you looking forward to doing besides the race?
I'm honestly looking forward to going to the fan zone. Me and Colby talked about that last week. I'm just excited to be on another racetrack again. Nashville was in the middle of summer, so it feels like an eternity since I got to go to a race. So I'm excited to be there. I'm excited to go see the Zen trailer. I'm excited to go see the On trailer. I'm just happy to be back that NASCAR's back in Tennessee.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. It doesn't come around often, and when you're this close, you have to make them count and go to them. So
yeah, it's my
excited.
Favorite weekend of the year.
Yeah.
Like beats every holiday, and so I'm gonna go down there Thursday, and I'll be at the campsite till Sunday morning.
Yep.
So just
shout out to our boy Ben. His he's been to 4 NASCAR races, all in Nashville. His first track, not at Nashville.
he's in for a surprise.
Yes, he is.
For sure.
So
and y'all are sitting next to us, close.
We're close. We're close to you. We're close to you. So I'm super excited about that, to get to just, because I know how it was the first time that you don't go somewhere that you've always been. I'm super excited to see that in person. So
I remember the first time I went to Bristol, it was for a spring race, and I was like maybe 12 or 13. And I don't get this feeling anymore, but like the first time you go in there and you sit up in the stands, you feel like you're about to fall onto the track.
Yeah.
And like I'll just never forget that feeling.
Yep.
And then the other thing is it's so small. This is like every short track, because it was like this at Wilkesboro too. It's just so small, and you're like, that's the Cup Series.
Yeah.
In this little tiny,
yes,
like it's surreal feeling.
Especially when you see it at a mile and a half, or at Daytona at a Speedway. You're like,
you have that distance, and you're like, okay, this is big time. But now it's like you feel exclusive.
They're there
to be this close.
Yeah.
The other thing I like about Bristol, the driver intros for Cup.
Yep.
They do walkout songs. So all these guys will pick their own song, and they come out, and so that's always good. Lots of boos, lots of cheers. So it'll be fun to see whatever Denny picks.
Yeah.
'Cause he just always gets booed so heavy. But and then it'll be cool, like Kyle Busch. You wonder what that's going to be like. I remember last year he got some cheers and then just was like out to lunch.
Yes.
The whole race. That's his playground too.
It is his playground.
I mean, it's weird to talk about Bristol and we didn't even consider Kyle Busch.
That's how bad
Or why would
is.
you?
Wow.
You know? So I'm looking forward to bringing the cornhole boards, you think? Or
we definitely should.
Okay.
We definitely
every time
should.
I bring them, I spend more time unloading them and loading them back than playing on them.
Wrong answer. Not this weekend.
Okay. I'll bring them.
Not on Saturday morning.
Okay.
We'll have college football to watch and beers to drink and cornhole to throw.
Okay. I'll be looking forward to it then.
Awesome.
Well, good deal, Spence. I appreciate it. Thanks for all your hard work.
Try my best.
Late night tonight. Thank you all for watching. And I guess we'll see you for episode 30.
Yep. Have a good one.
See y'all.